Thanks for organizing this great event. And we are coming to the end of the session where what we have heard from the morning with different 5.0, how these experts can give some insights in terms of the various fields, various domains, in terms of few things in supply chain, skill manpower, or carbon neutrality on various aspects. So I would like to, you can start. Or you can take the, in terms of the handling the skill manpower, because people have spoken on various things from blockchain to circular economy and everything. So what's your thought in one liner so that we can cover, because so many people.
So in one line I will tell that there is a book called Leading Smart People. You refer that book, it will give everything. It has very good insight. We'll go through with that. We will be really good to understand how to handle the smart skill people. So that is one liner which I would like to tell.
Anyone, like, sorry to interrupt, like there are one of the challenges, one we talk in the morning, but getting skilled people, then supply chain, and how we localize in the space from EV to different domain with the smart manufacturing. Any of the questions, if you wanted to give some insight, first start with your name, two-liner introduction and move on. Fine. So that
once again, good afternoon. Myself, Prashant Pawar. I am taking care of operations at MAHLE ANAND Filter Systems Limited. So now with this responsibility, basically, and then now for this panel, the discussion topic is, or maybe we are going to talk about this building ecosystem for this manufacturing 5.0. So in a brief, if I want to tell you where it focuses basically. So there are only three components that we need to address. One is, of course, this human touch. The second one is we are talking about agility and resilience. And the third one is sustainability. So beyond Industry 4.0, if we again take care of these three components, I guess then we are at least taking certain steps to start building this ecosystem. And then further, of course, we will get into the details. Now, I pause here.
Good afternoon. Myself, Bramhanand Kulkarni. I'm heading the ERP and Manufacturing Engineering in United Crane Components. So moving towards the topic of Manufacturing 5.0, I guess Sir has already stated the three pillars, you can say, of Manufacturing 5.0. It is very much important to understand that while entering into this ecosystem, it is very much important that Sir has already stated the skilled labor, skilled workforce. So workforce transition is something that is very much needed to implement or to advance in this technological advancements, because we are integrating the humans with advanced technologies. So we need to uprise, we need to up their skills so that they could be implement those technologies very effectively and efficiently. So one of the aspects of Manufacturing 5.0 is how you skill your workforce. That is very much important. Second, I would state that it is rather take as a challenges of 5.0. It's the technological advancements and smoother implementation. So we more often talk about the technologies. Even most of you agree with me that most of the companies adopt the technologies, but the implementation of it, smoother implementation of it, is a quite challenging task, because the reason is the cultural resistance. The resistance at a manufacturing level by the peoples, by the employees, is quite high. Okay, so these are the major challenges which we need to overcome if we want to move ahead with this technological advancement as a manufacturing 5.0. Okay. Further, we will discuss this further. I will hand over to next.
Good evening, everyone. I am Colonel Madhusuthanan. Everybody must be wondering, out of all this industry people, why a guy from armed forces is here in front of you. Is basically, we're all talking of smart factories, smart manufacturing, smart in everything. Have you ever, does anybody thought of smart soldiering also? No, nobody must have. So I have come here to give you a perspective on smart soldiering, because that is the need of the hour. Earlier, moderator was talking about the Iron Dome and all that. Gentlemen, this is the need of the hour. In fact, if we cannot have a strong nation, you can secure all your assets, but if you cannot secure your physical assets, I don't think we can survive. That's what Israel is facing now. So I have come to give the perspective of defense manufacturing and what is the need for that and how imperative we have to take it forward. And we are doing a good progress on that front, but I will add on subsequently when the discussion progresses.
Good evening all. I am Shafiq, heading the plant of Epicor Technologies, Pune. In context of manufacturing 5.0 and managing the skilled manpower, we heard in first half a lot about smart factory, factory of the futures, plant of the futures, and it is very essential that we really manage skilled manpower. And why it is important to manage skilled manpower, in order to be ready to be factory of the future, plant of the futures. Because plant of the future need employee of the future, talent of the future, leaders of the future. Plant of the future also need engineers of the future, right? So how this, we know, we heard about Industry 4.0, and now we heard about Industry 5.0, which is more centric towards human. After a lot of technologies, we saw in Industry 4. And Industry 5, Manufacturing 5 is more about integrating all those technologies together, of course, keeping human back at center. And human, same, we need people of the futures, and the need of those people, the need of those employees will be very different than today. And this is all we all need to recognize and appreciate those needs and start preparing people, the generations, right from now, so that they are fit into the smart factory. So, we will talk more on this context when we move forward. Yeah. So, back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add some different point of view. I understand skilled labor is always a challenge, right? So I come from a technology provider, solution provider, right? So what I believe and what I've seen by talking to a lot of manufacturers like yourself, large, medium, that the technology used on the shop floor or on the business side of it is, it's very ugly looking screens. If you remember the software you saw some time back, PO to sales order integration, if you've seen those screens, from my point of view, when I come from a social media page and I look at that, it's not intuitive for me, right? So we're talking skilled labors. The idea is to provide those skilled labors technology which we use day to day. For example, QR codes. Everybody know how to use QR codes, but still in the factories we use barcode or more complex technologies, right? We have to make it simpler. The idea is to give any application to them on the shop floor or as a business user, which are intuitive. Nobody learns how to use Facebook or Twitter, right? Why they have to spend time to learn applications to create a purchase order or sales order? So this is where we come from. So idea is to make it intuitive and use technologies which we use for our day-to-day life, right? My mom knows how to do a QR payment, right? So that's the idea. If we look at that aspect, maybe this problem may not be a problem.
Yeah, right. I have one question with Colonel Madhusuthanan. Like when we talk about the supply chain, we have a major dependency on neighboring country. And as you came from the defense, there is an unwritten rule, cross border, you can't take anything. So how you deal with the supply chain issue with this smart manufacturing is concerned to make our soldiers smart?
Yeah, everybody will agree with me that today geopolitical situation is totally changing the security imperatives of each and every country. The Russian-Ukraine crisis, the major lesson learned is about the supply chain, this thing. And the breaking up of erstwhile USSR was a big lesson for us when all our equipments went off-road because of lack of supply chain. All OEMs went bankrupt after the breakup of USSR, whereas we all had Russian-made equipments. So the supply chain was totally dependent on one. That's why when we realized that our supply chain should be not be dependent on one country, it should be across all the geographies. That's when we felt when the erstwhile USSR broke. And after that, now the Russian-Ukraine crisis also is a big lesson for us, that the supply chain will not stabilize with the situations. We have to develop our own this thing. So when this Make in India initiative is basically an initiative to address that concern only. When we projected that, we had a lot of supply chain issues. MiG fighter aircraft which is supposed to fly is on the ground. The fighter frigates are on the seas, which is supposed to be on the seas or on the shore. It can't be. So when we projected all this, then why can't we make all these equipments in India? That's how the supply chain issues were addressed. And Make in India is not a small attempt. It is a big, bold initiative which has been taken by the government not to address the supply chain. The self-reliance is not about our own country. We see it in C perspective. We call it a C perspective. That is security, economy, and employment generation. That's how we call this self-reliance initiative is in a C perspective. Security. First, we take it as a security apparatus. Do we think that India is with the very giggling neighbors, surrounded by giggling neighbors? No. We are surrounded by the hostile neighbors who are ready to bleed India. So we have to be self-reliant to face that. And India has such porous borders that we have all type of terrains. That's why in no other country, gentlemen, in the world has all the terrains in one particular country. We have deserts, we have high altitude, we have jungles. You name any terrain. That's why people from US come for insurgency and jungle warfare to get trained in India, because they don't have that sort of a terrain there. Economic perspective. And moreover, self-reliance not only gives this thing, it gives the strategic autonomy to us. That's why if in case, you see, last fortnight, the Russian President, Putin, he said that, gentlemen, we have to learn from the Make in India initiative, Russian President. He is telling about we have to learn from the Make in India initiative to improve upon our country's strategic autonomy. That is the importance of it. So security aspect. Next comes economy. If in case you see, we all tell US is a mighty country. Why? Can anybody tell? Why they become mighty? Because they had a strong, and even now, they have a strong defense manufacturing ecosystem, which we are nascent, we are still developing. Where there are those people, they have a strong foundation of defense manufacturing ecosystem. Everything evolves. It's a spin-off of defense manufacturing ecosystem. That's why they are mighty. We call them mighty. So the economy of a country is totally, I would say, it depends upon the strategic necessity and the imperative of the self-reliance. That's why Abdul Kalam used to say, the self-respect comes with self-reliance. So if in case you see importance of defense manufacturing, it's a very important for this nation to become a developed nation. Next comes employment generation. If in case you see, if we improve the defense manufacturing ecosystem, where all people play a pivotal role, all these industry people, 20% of reduction of defense imports, they say, would generate 1.5 lakh jobs. That is the estimate. So various importance is attached to the self-reliant and the technical, if in case you see the latest initiative of ISET, I don't know whether you have heard of this ISET, Initiative for Critical and Emerging Technologies between India and US. It is daily monitored by the national security advisors of both countries. That is the level of importance attached to the cooperation and collaboration between Indo and US, because we are playing a major role in the security of the world. US has realized India is a potential trusted partner now to secure the whole world. That's why they are collaborating with us. Earlier, they were not sharing technology. Now, if in case you see F410, that 414 engine that is used for the advanced multi-craft aircraft is going to be transferred to us. It is going to be produced in India. Can anybody imagine that? So if in case that is called the crown jewel technology of US, F414 engine, that is used in F-16 fighter aircrafts. That is the crown jewel technology. They are ready to share with us. So we are going to manufacture it now. 80% transfer of technology they are ready to give. So that means the different manufacturing is, the future of manufacturing is going to play a stellar role, which we have to now grasp it now. That's what. And moreover, skilling of like the training, we want to skill, the skilling of soldiers we call. So SOS, that concept we call it as SOS. And training is a continuous aspect in armed forces. So we keep on training for the upgrade each and, because training is a bread and butter for us. Every situation demands training.
Thank you. Thank you, and very clear and very detailed. So next, my question is Mr. Prashant. How you look at when everybody talk about the carbon neutrality and a company like yours in the long-term perspective, how you address the carbon footprint while manufacturing in your various plants?
Right. So here, basically, I would like to share the current status. This journey we have started at least 3 years before. And again, this was an initiative at a group level. So at an ANAND group level, basically the sustainability strategy was defined considering the base figures of 2021. And we said that, okay, by 2025, at a group level, where we would like to reach. And with this initiative, or with this sustainability strategy, basically we started focusing on 4 components. The first one is definitely water conservation. The second one is zero waste to landfill. Third one is basically this green energy, percentage of green energy in our operations. And then the fourth one is, of course, this GHG emissions. So now this was at a group level initiative. For that, of course, MAHLE ANAND filter has also participated, and we defined our own goals that, okay, by 2025, where we would like to reach. And with respect to that, then in 2021 itself, our journey has started. And it is still on, and we are on track. Basically now, if I talk about, or if I want to share my today's status on these 4 parameters, so we are already water positive. So we are basically augmenting more than what we are consuming in all of our 4 plants. And this mainly, we have achieved this mainly because of this rainwater harvesting projects. So we have completed these projects in 3 of our plants. 4th one is under discussion now. And when it comes to the zero waste to landfill, we have targeted, okay, we will be there by 2024, but I'm happy to share that, okay, this year we have already hit that target also. As far as green energy is concerned, there also we set a target. And then on that journey, we are somewhere around, we set a target of around 30% green energy that we will be using. That 30% will be the ratio. That is what we have targeted. And this year we will be reaching to 20% there. And again here, the sources are this wind energy, which is available in Chennai. And then of course we have gone for this rooftop solar plants. And whatever opportunity we see there, we are getting into it. And ultimately, definitely with these actions, aim is that, okay, we need to hit the target what we have decided. And with this only now, I can say that, okay, we are putting this conscious efforts year on year since it was defined long back. So I guess this is what, it is not only the MAHLE ANAND filters, it's a group level companies which are contributing. And then this group has already basically started taking these steps. And I'm sure that, okay, we are definitely going to meet the target what we have committed to ourselves, basically.
Yeah, this is really remarkable, and others can surely learn what Anand Group is doing. My next question is to Mr. Ashok. In terms of industrial 5.0, when we talk about AI, ML, or digital twin, and different terminologies, what the company's strategy in that domain to have a cost-effective as well as robust Finolex cable or Finolex mark in the market?
Yeah. So I'm in information technology. I'm working in manufacturing companies since near about 25 to 27 years. Multiple domain, pharma, chemical, steel, and then automotive, and now with the cables. Since long, the objective of IT is the department which knows all the operations, working with all the operations, whether it is finance, manufacturing, supply chain, marketing. We support all the functions, and we deep dive, we goes into the detail of all the informations, and then we make the systems flawless. Plus, we give the solution which should take less time, save the time, save the energy. So, and trained the people. When we are training the people, that time the sustainability of the humans plus the sustainability of skills, increasing skill comes. And the people who are working in such environment, they keep, so there are the people who are very keen to learn the systems. They come forward, they learn, and they grow. That is how we do. And coming to the making the things more better in terms of the energy saving, we as IT, we support the business, we support the manufacturing peoples to establish the solar panels, to establish the IoTs, to establish the technology, where the technology helps them for the information. Suppose there are chillers, there are certain more equipments, machines, so they can get the online information to make the preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, and keep the things moving. So I was part of TPM, Six Sigma, and multiple type of manufacturing processes where we have supported the through the information technology to the business.
Okay, thank you. So just warm welcome to Shashikant Gurav. He is the Vice President for the company name Octillion Power System. So I would like to ask questions, Shashikant, like first tell a few lines about your company and what challenges you face to do a real Make in India battery pack manufacturing. You are doing for many 5-6 years in India. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Yashodhan. First of all, my apology. Sorry, I got stuck up in traffic somewhere, so I was late. So extremely sorry for being late. So yes, Octillion Power System is the company, US-based MNC, which is into the manufacturing of the battery pack for the electrical vehicle. And currently we are supplying the battery packs for the electrical buses. In coming months, we will be supplying the battery packs to the passenger vehicles as well. So we are into electrical buses, the, electrical trucks, and now coming to the passenger vehicles. So like this topic says, and like Yashodhan says, like of course Yashodhan was one of the person like with whom we started this journey, Octillion journey. So he's not with us right now, but yeah, he's the member who faced the challenges initially, and now I'm taking forward. So yes, it's a difficult in terms of indigenizing the parts in India. it's quite tough. In terms of technology, of course, in terms of cost. If you ask me in terms of technology, it is very difficult because this ecosystem is not yet developed. So the stringent requirement, I just take an example so that it will be very clear for all of you that, for example, if you take the bottom cover or the bottom enclosure of the bus battery pack, which is like almost 1.4 meter by 1.5 meter. If you imagine like anybody wanted to develop this casting, it's aluminum casting actually. Anybody wanted to develop this casting, is the straightforward way is to go for the sand casting. But since it is the EV application, so porosity is the issue. The enclosure needs to be IP67 compliance. So we cannot do the sand casting. So next option is like pressure die casting. We have LPDC and HPDC. But in India, nobody is having such a big size of pressure die casting machine where our die and our part can fit. So this is the like challenge. One side we wanted like IP67 compliant part, other side we don't have equipment and machine in India to develop this part. Now like we are the first one who are developing such a big machine, 2 meter by 2 meter bed size. And we designed first, based on the part we designed first die. And based on the die we designed the machine. And now we are implementing that. Another example, if you take extrusion parts. So there is a serpentine or the cold plate which is required to cool the battery pack. But again, the precision what we need is the extrusion, where the extrusion profiles are there inside a single piece plate. But where again facing a challenge is, nobody is having such a kind of technology, or nobody is even into like mass production or in automotive use such a kind of extrusion plates in India yet. So still we are importing outside India. If you take the example of wiring harnesses, again, there are some stringent requirements since it is a EV, the fire retardant, UL grade wires. Again, the connectors are not available in India. Nobody makes the connector in India. So the cost of buying such a wiring harnesses in India versus importing the wiring harnesses from China, like you cannot believe me, but there is a cost delta of like 8 times, 10 times more than what landing price I'm getting from China. So these are very stringent and typical challenge the EV industry is currently facing, where first of all the technology, and once the technology is available, then the cost. Again, it is a cost competitive business and it's a niche product. So we have to meet the cost targets as well. Even the government promotes a lot of subsidies, FAME, to boost the localization, local manufacturing of the parts and the battery pack manufacturings. And we are struggling, passing through all these things parallelly. I don't know if it's the right forum or not, but still, when we import parts for the battery, again, it's a niche product. Interpretation in the customs book is again different, so we are facing challenges over there also. There are some concessions given for some parts, and interpretation wise also we are facing a challenge to convince the customs officer for getting the goods clear. I'm taking this point here because that is also part of ecosystem. So it is not easy to import parts, even though there is a concession. There are some interpretation challenges are there which we are currently facing. Plus I give an example of the local development of the parts. And in addition to that, if you talk about the manufacturing, then again there are some technologies like a laser welding, where we have to weld the two cells by the bus bars. And again, the cost of laser welding setup is very high. So there also we need to thought innovatively how we can make the parts required for the laser welding machine in India, and how can we bring down the cost of the whole machine to the down. So these are like few things I wanted to highlight.
Yeah.
And thanks for this opportunity giving to me. And again, I apologize for my delay. Thank you.
Yeah, so adding here, as Colonel mentioned, make in India, and you mentioned the wiring harness. So Finolex cables makes auto cable. So there is a lot of demand from the EV. And they are coming to our company and they are doing a lot of testing. We are supporting them to make a robust cable which should not catch the fire, and if the fire is there, then there should not be smoke. All that type of, all that R&D, research and development, and making things better is in progress.
Thanks, Shashikant, for telling the right difficulties that the industry is facing. And it's facing, though we talk about, somebody asked in the morning during the session, why the cost of the battery is high. So these are the challenges. It is easy to say we can get the cells from our neighboring country, but what's the definition of the cell and the battery? Still custom or the government has to redefine, because there is no specific definition which battery to call cell, whether it is cylindrical or it is prismatic. And many of the OEMs are started facing the issue in the custom, because custom duty is 5%, they increase to 15%. If the duty is increased, you can't sell the electric vehicles, because nobody at the moment making the cells in India. And other issues might be industry experts can give some help in terms of supply chain. Though we talk about the industry 5.0, still baby steps to do to reach to that level. My next question to Bramhanand. You are working in the crane component system. How you deal with the supply chain and keeping the talent intact over the years?
Okay. So regarding the supply chain, so many have already explained that what are the difficulties in the supply chain. We are in the export business itself. So we export the crane components to more than 35 countries almost. In case of this, as Sir said, sometimes we also face the difficulties at the custom levels. And again, the sum of the parts that we manufacture, those are so complicated that the suppliers at India level are very resistant to adopt that or give that at a reasonable cost, because we are working in the cost-centric atmosphere. Second, the sir has said about the keeping the skill employee intact. I feel that regarding the concept of manufacturing 5.0, we all together will face a major challenge regarding the skill or the workforce skill, because as we are advancing with the technology, but the peoples who have that skills are not yet been developed. Okay. So that is the reason we need to assess first our workforce, that what are the skills they have currently, and then we need to identify the skills that are required to develop this manufacturing 5.0 ecosystem. Unless and until we do that, we could not able to move ahead. So as we assess these skills of the workmen that we have, and we identify the manufacturing skill or identify the skills that are required for manufacturing 5.0, then there is a recruitment session start completely. So these are the three essential things that we need to take care while for any manufacturing industry to enter into this technological advancement. And then there is a provision comes for the training and development, which we call, or to sustain that manpower in our company, we need to provide the training and development so that they will be competitive or relative to the changing market condition. They will sustain to the changing market condition. Again, if we have provided the training to workmen, then there comes, we should give the atmosphere for innovations to them. Because with this new technology, it is not that it will be get implemented in one night. There are so many challenges while implementation, so we need to fall, we need to again try, and we need to work on it completely. So we need to foster the environment of innovation in the company so that every workforce that is being trained will take this benefit of innovation and they get learned from it. So I think these are the things which are necessary for our workforce to keep intact with the manufacturing development or advancements.
Yeah, thanks, Brahmanand. My next question to Shafiq, like as he mentioned, and to Vishal also. In the morning, somebody asks, what's your thought on 70 hours work? And there is always thin line, the IT industry where we have 5-day week, flexible working hours. In manufacturing, you can't do that. It's a fixed shift based on your productivity. And one hand, you have to intact your manpower in manufacturing, but the given trend is concerned where 5-day week. How you deal with such a thing? Especially for
Well, when we talk working hours of people in the plant or in the factory, where we are talking factory of the future, I believe it's myth, and we realized this right after pandemic, that even the manufacturing people can work remotely, and this is we already experience, and we still believe that, especially in the country like India, a low labor cost country, lot of labor oriented manufacturing, but in factory of the futures, it's not going to be like that. We are talking human intelligence integrating with machine intelligence. Human is not mean only to use their hands, right? There are many smart solutions for that, innovative solutions for that. Going forward, but as my point of view, that manufacturing can even do better things in terms of managing the work hours, whereas the people should be able to work remotely wherever they are across the world, looking after the plant, fixing the problems in the machines, fixing the material movement. We are talking ideal material flow. We are talking, since we were talking the supply chain in manufacturing 5.0, how the supply chain will be. There might be no man movement. No material is moved by people. What we see in developed country today already. They are short of people. We are not short of people, so we are doing it. But I think this human energy can be used, what is the main strength of our country right now. We are the world's #1 in populations, and if we really use all this human energy in a right spirit, I think the coming time is, the coming decade is of the India's time. And so no problem in general, should be managing the working hours, the people in the plants of the future. Okay.
Coming from IT background, right? I don't think we work 9 to 5. I know it's a myth, right? Actually, we as an organization support customers 24/7. And the way IT is structured, if you know, we controlling, supporting multiple countries on multiple time zones, and India being ITES enabled services. So I think 9 to 5 from IT industry point of view is myth.
So I think
So,
70 plus hours already we are working. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Karnan?
What he was, in a lighter vein, I should want to share that remote working and manufacturing, in fact, we also wish to work remotely, soldier work.
remotely.
Yeah, exactly. We wish to, but that cannot be. That cannot be forecasted at all. And speaking of innovation, that is going to take us in a big level. Next NBT we call it. Next big thing is innovation. Even in indigenization also, we are bringing in innovation to that aspect. That's all I we call it, innovate to indigenize. We are using again a framework to bring that innovation aspect. We are bringing out a QONE framework so that we bring innovation to that. Like QONE is nothing but questioning, observation, networking, and experimenting. So in all our indigenization process, we question our process, whether that process is effective. That process will give the desired result. If not, change. That again, RPT, we must have heard about that RPT, which is the famous slogan of our Prime Minister: reform, perform, transform. So that we bring out, that innovative aspect, like question. We question everything. We question the status quo. Unless we question the status quo, we cannot make improvement. Somebody was in the morning discussion also, we were talking continuous improvement, that Kaizen, all that concept we are doing it. Next is observation. Gentlemen, earlier we were all working in silos. In fact, there was a big, wide gap between the industry and the defense manufacturing. So now the bridge is getting abridged. In fact, industry is observing us, we are observing you, and we are observing the best practices of each of everything, and we are learning from each other. That is one thing. Next is experimenting. We are experimenting with all ideas. Now there is no, we are not, we are ready for failure. That's what the DIO has been formed under the stewardship of Defense Minister, the Defense Innovation Organization. The 100 crores fund has been given by HAL and BEL, and we have formed the Defense Innovation Organization only to bring innovation. So that is, next big thing is innovation in all your, either in manufacturing or in any part of this thing. So we have lot of, we have DISC Defense Innovation Startup Challenges. Can you ever imagine we have 300 different startups now in the defense manufacturing system?
Colonel, sorry to interrupt, but because of the time shortage, we can conclude the discussion. I just have the last remark. We say last century is IC, integrated circuits. This century we say IC. The interpretation is different. I for India, C for China. At the moment, the length of the C is bigger, and we have to increase the length of I by doing the localization, indigenization. So thank you very much, my panelists and all the listeners. Thanks.